What is an EOI? Let's jet off to Brussels and the website of the European Union. So, what is an EOI? An EOI is an identification number. It stands for Economic Operators Registration and Identification Number. EOI numbers are needed by customs as part of the identification information for a customs declaration, but customs authorities also use them for statistical and security purposes. The two parts of an EOI. An EOI number is made up of letters and numbers. Usually there are only two letters prefixed at the start, and these uniquely identify the country that issued the EOI number. This is followed by a string of numbers. Although the string of numbers will be unique in the issuing country, the combination of letters and numbers provide globally unique EOI numbers. Although economic operators can have more than one EOI number, each EOI number identifies just one economic operator. So, who needs an EOI? Usually economic operators, but on occasion persons other than economic operators as well, when required. Economic operators act in the course of business, and are distinct from holiday makers, returning home with duty-free goods. However, an economic operator can be a person or an organization. Whether based inside or outside the EU, any economic operator, needing to make any of the different types of customs declarations, in order to move goods through customs borders, needs initially, to have registered with customs, to obtain an EOI number, to use in declarations. However, if your business is as a carrier, transporting other people's goods, you will also need an EOI number. So before we move off this page, are EOI numbers affected by Brexit? Yes. How will EOI numbers be affected if there is a no-deal Brexit? An EOI number is needed when importing goods into a trading area or country. The EU, although made up of many countries, is still a single trading area, so only one EOI number is required to move goods between member states of the EU. Ignoring any complex situations, a European EOI number is valid for the UK, but only as long as the UK remains as part of the EU. So, after Brexit, and especially after a no-deal Brexit, the UK will be a distinct separate trading area from the EU 27. This means that any economic operator, wishing to move goods back and forth, between the UK and EU, will need two EOI numbers. One issued by the UK, and the other, issued by any one of the different customs authorities of the EU. Any EOI numbers issued prior to Brexit, will still be valid after a no-deal Brexit, but only in the issuing trading area. So, for example, should there be a no-deal Brexit, HMRC will not accept a European EOI number in any customs declaration, from importers bringing goods into the UK. And what if a withdrawal deal is agreed upon? How will this affect EOI numbers? The transition period temporarily preserves the EU border, but after, it really depends upon any applicable terms set in any trade agreement, but almost definitely, a GB EOI will be required. Okay, great. And right now, we are looking at preparations for UK businesses wishing to import goods into the UK. So next, we'll jet off to HMRC, to find out how to register for a UK GB EOI number. It's relatively easy to get an EOI number, just be sure to have the required information to hand. What do you need? Individuals may need their NI number. A unique taxpayer reference, UTR. For individuals, this is on your self-assessment tax return form. On top of this, businesses may also need their VAT number and date of registration. Standard Industrial Classification, SIC, code. What is this? In brief, this is a code that identifies what your business does, which sector it operates in, etc. In all cases, you will need a Government Gateway User ID and password. A Government Gateway User ID. What's that? This is simply a gov.uk login account, handy for verifying your identity, but with one of these, you can also get access to various services on the gov.uk website, such as personal tax returns, tax and tax credits, and child credit services, as well as HMRC services. A Government Gateway User ID and password is required when applying for a UK GB EOI number. You can get a Government Gateway User ID and password, either for yourself, if you are acting as an individual, or for the business or organization that you are representing. We'll take a moment to see how to get a Government Gateway User ID now. This is the URL. https://www.access.service.gov.uk/login/sign-in/creds. But you can also search for UK Government Gateway User ID or UK Government Gateway Account. In the search results, we see links to sign into HMRC, personal tax, scrolling down a bit, Government Gateway Account, childcare services. Whichever link you choose, and we'll scroll up and click HMRC, click the sign in button. And we get to the sign in using Government Gateway page with the same URL. https://www.access.service.gov.uk/login/creds. To actually create a new user ID, click Create Sign-in Details, down here. Just in case you wish to make a note, the next URL is https://www.access.service.gov.uk/registration/email. Start the process to get your Government Gateway user ID by entering your email address and clicking Continue. A code will be sent to that email address which you can then use to confirm and verify your application. Simply follow instructions to complete this process. Great. So, for the sake of brevity, we'll skip and move on. Next. Get your UK EOI number. You have now got your UK Government Gateway user ID and password. Let's see how to use these creds to get a UK GB EOI number. To be sure, I'll search for gov.uk EOI number. We want the link, get an EOI number, gov.uk. Click that. Great. Get an EOI number. See the URL. https://www.gov.uk/EOI. And also some information to get you started. So, from the previous video. Prior to the 1st of January, 2021, and whilst the UK remains in the Brexit transition period, your HMRC-issued EOI number allows you to make customs declarations with EU customs authorities as well. However, after this date, this will no longer be the case, and the same EOI number will only allow you to move goods into, or out of, the UK. Specifically, after the 1st of January, 2021, you will need an EOI number that starts with GB to move goods in or out of the UK. And you will also need an EU-issued EOI number to move goods in or out of the European single market. To confirm, if we scroll down here, we see if you want to make a customs declaration in the EU, or get a customs decision from an EU customs authority, you will need a European Union EOI number. How do I get a European Union EOI number? If you haven't got one, we see that you should get it from the customs authority in the EU country where you submit your first declaration, or request your first decision. If you need help, you could try the EU National Customs website's page at https://ec.europa.eu/taxation_customs/national-customs-websites_en. In brief, find and click to access the customs website of the country where you are making your first declaration. If necessary, change the language setting to English. Often, this setting is in the top left or top right corner of the home page, or in the page footer. Once on the site, you may need to do a search for EOI to access the EOI application service or forms. As mentioned in an earlier video, the letters that prefix an EOI number identify the country that processes and issues your EOI. For example, GB is only used to prefix UK EOI numbers. Jumping back. But also remember, always use good software protection when surfing the internet. What about my old EOI numbers? EOI numbers you might currently have will still be valid after the 1st of January, 2021, but only in the trading area that issued the EOI. Just to reiterate, one last time. After the 1st of January, 2021, all businesses will need to use two EOI numbers when moving goods between the UK and EU. One, issued by the UK. The other, issued by the EU. Without an appropriate EOI, I imagine similar penalties will apply on both sides of the trading border separating the UK and EU. All sorts of hassle here. Increased costs, delays, even storage fees. Moving on. If you need it, we see a guide is available in Welsh. Currently, GB EOI numbers are 12 digits long. If you are already registered for VAT, your EOI will include your VAT registration number. That's nice. It's interesting to see here that, whether there is a no-deal Brexit or not, you shouldn't ordinarily need an EOI number if you only provide services, or if you only move goods between Northern Ireland and Ireland. So, if no other countries are involved in the movement of your goods, then you do not need an EOI number to only move goods between Northern Ireland and Ireland. We also see that parcel and post companies can also tell you if you need an EOI number when using their services to transport your goods. Scrolling down, we see confirmation of the items you should have to hand before applying for your UK EOI number. VAT registration certificate, which records your VAT number and effective date of registration. NI number for individuals or sole traders. Unique taxpayer reference, UTR, which is on your self-assessment form. You also get one when you set up a company. A link provided here to help you find it. You also need your business start date and standard industrial classification, SIC, code. You can get this code from Companies House Register. As an aside, you can also find more company information from here, such as registered address and date of incorporation, current and resigned officers, document images, mortgage charge data, previous company names, insolvency information, etc. Handy, but we'll skip onwards, for the sake of brevity. Yes, where are we? Ah yes. And lastly, the government gateway user ID and password. A little note here. Don't mix up your government gateway accounts. If you are applying for a UK EOI number for your company, be sure to use the government gateway account assigned to your company. If you are applying for yourself, use your own personal government gateway account to do that. And below, here, we see the Start Now button, to apply for an EOI. 5 to 10 minutes to apply, and you'll get it either straight away or within 5 working days. Just to confirm, we saw in the previous video, this can take up to a week. So, what happens if we click Start Now? Let's see. Am I based on the Isle of Man? No. Am I part of a VAT group, based in the UK? VAT group? What is that? It is where two companies, or two limited liability partnerships register themselves as the same single taxable unit or person, for the purpose of VAT in the UK. Okay. Nope. And here we are. You can now sign in with your government user ID and password to continue the process, and obtain your new GBEOI number. We'll move on to the question of whether you should hire an agent, or make customs declarations yourself. Next.